13 WREN's Rockford's news leader. Live from Rockford, this is 13 News at 6.
Rockford area political candidates pull out all the stops to campaign for your vote. Good evening and welcome to 13 News at 6. I'm Eric Wilson.
And I'm Danny Maxwell. We'll get to that story in just a minute, but first we wanted to get you an update on the weather. The snow is making some roads pretty dangerous tonight. Chief
Meteorologist Eric Sorensen's in the Weather Center keeping an eye on things. Eric, what's the latest?
Well, the latest, we don't have any major accidents out there, but fender benders are becoming more widespread as we put on the brakes here and realize that the car won't stop. Snow advisories are in effect for all of northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin as we go through the overnight tonight and into tomorrow, and even winter storm warnings in effect for the Chicagoland and northwestern Indiana area. Here's a look at Skywatch NextRad. As you see, the darker blues indicate the heavier snow, and that is really piling up on the roadways. Live pictures coming into us on the Skywatch out at Magic Waters right now as we look at the intersection of I-39 and I-90, and you see the roadways here are becoming snow covered, and that's going to be the case as we go through the overnight as well. It's a long duration of just light snow, and the worst intersections and the worst interstates are going to be I-39 south of Rockford towards Rochelle and further south, and I-90. If you're heading into O'Hare, it's going to take several hours to get into the city of Chicago. They're expecting 6 to 12 inches. Looks like a pretty good bet that we could have anywhere between 3 and 5 inches here in the Rockford metro area by morning. We'll let you know more about the forecast as we take you through Super Bowl weekend in just a few minutes. Back to you guys.
All right. Thanks a lot, Eric.
Thanks, Eric. Well, with the primary just days away, candidates try to catch voters' eyes through bigger and more sophisticated signs.
13 News reporter Gretchen Ross talked to one local graphics company who says bigger isn't always better. She joins us from the newsroom with more. Gretchen.
Danny, art director for Interstate Graphics, Philip Brockwell, says while billboards may work in some locations, yard signs prove just as effective when securing votes.
And I think, you know, if you're on a freeway and you're going 60 miles per hour, you're going to need to see a larger billboard. But if you're driving through your neighborhood or like a subdivision, I live in a subdivision and it's 25 miles per hour, you don't need a huge sign in your face.
Interstate Graphics manager Jim Norwood says dozens of local candidates still use yard signs to attract voters.
For people to get their name out, for people who do not know the candidate who's running. They want to get their name out so people that are driving by can see it.
Yard signs can cost anywhere from $300 to $5,000, depending on how many you get. KMK marketing strategist Cindy Harris says a large billboard or electronic sign in the county will be about $2,000 for 2 months. She says larger signs are more effective because they cut through the excess advertising and focus on a candidate's message.
The amount of advertising that's out there, I mean, you turn around, it's everywhere. You got it on your telephone, you have it on your computer, you have it in your mailbox. It's just everywhere. So you need to be able to cut across all of that and get your message heard.
Now, Harris says candidates need to secure billboards and electronic signs 6 to 8 months before an election. Reporting live in the newsroom, Gretchen Ross, 13 News.
And Gretchen, Harris talked about something that candidates are starting to use a little more often now, right?
Yes, that's right, Eric. Harris says for the general election especially, more campaigning will be done through the internet.
All right, thanks a lot, Gretchen.
Thanks, Gretchen.
A Loves Park man's accused of exposing himself to a child at the YMCA. It allegedly happened in November at the Y in downtown Rockford. Mikhail Kasyanyuk was charged with sexual exploitation of a child and public indecency. The Winnebago County State's Attorney's Office says the child was younger than 13. Kasyanyuk was indicted by a grand jury yesterday. No freedom today for the man who sexually assaulted then killed a Rockford boy 3 decades ago.
Robert Lauer murdered Joey Didier in 1975. Didier's family has been working ever since to keep Lauer behind bars. So far, it's worked. Today, the Prisoner Review Board denied his parole after meeting with both sides earlier this month. A Janesville man accused in a triple homicide goes to court. James Kep's bond was set at $750,000. He's charged with 3 counts of murder for allegedly killing Danietta Lentz and her 2 kids, Nicole and Scott. The family was strangled and stabbed more than a year ago. Kep was a suspect back then, but the Rock County District Attorney couldn't charge him until a few weeks ago.
Meanwhile, the DA says police acted appropriately when they shot and killed a man last month. In mid-December, a Clinton, Wisconsin police officer and Rock County Sheriff's deputy say 36-year-old Timothy Harrington shot his mother-in-law 58-year-old Marilyn Smith. That's when they shot him. Now, District Attorney David O'Leary says both officers acted lawfully to protect themselves and the other family members in that home. A Davis Junction woman gets 11 years in prison for stealing from her company. 43-year-old Jonah Bantug got the sentence today for taking almost $1.3 million from Fast Track Application Development Company in Addison. Addison police say she had a gambling habit and also used money to buy expensive things for her house. Besides 11 years in prison, Bantug has to pay more than $1 million in restitution to Fast Track. Police say she used company credit cards and forged hundreds of checks to take the money.
Construction on the $100 million federal courthouse in Rockford is just months away from starting. Now, it's about picking the right people to do the work. Contractors and subcontractors met this morning with Rockford City leaders and Congressman Don Manzullo to go over the bidding process for the courthouse. Those bids include concrete work, electrical, plumbing, and doors and windows.
We're interested in bidding the electrical work, and we have another division that handles like drywall, metal studs, painting.
Bid applications should be out by February 14th. Contractors submit them in March, and the 900-day construction project will then start later this spring.
Illinois ranks second worst in the country when it comes to National Guard equipment. An independent federal commission says it only has 29% of what it needs for civil support and homeland security missions. That's not much more than half of the national average, which was 59%. The list ranges from truck and radios to medical equipment.
A big part of medical care around here involves blood, but without donations, hospitals come up short. Today, the Rock River Valley Blood Center reports 167 donations. We're up to 781 for the week. One way to help is to stop by our WREX blood drive tomorrow. It's from 9 to 2 outside Valley Produce. That's at 6550 North Alpine Road. You can also give blood at any of the blood center's locations in Rockford and Freeport.
For some Rockford students, this is their very first teacher. Mrs. Kathy Chacho was shocked and surprised when we caught up with her at Fairview Center. She is our teacher of the week. She teaches 3, 4, and 5-year-olds who are at risk, but she's no rookie to the job. She's been in the classroom for 34 years, but those that know her say it takes a special someone to reach these little ones.
She deserves every single bit of it. Yeah. She's one of Rockford's best.
No. Not here. Next Thursday, we'll have a new Teacher of the Week. To nominate someone, we need the name of the teacher, grade, school, and an explanation of why that person is a success in the classroom. We also need the nominator's contact information. Send that to news@wrex.com. While we can't promise any school delays tomorrow, there will probably be delays on the roadways.
Here's a look at some numbers you can call for road conditions. Eric Sorensen's back with the latest right after this.
You're watching 13 News at 6 with Eric Wilson, Danny Maxwell, evening reporter Laura Gibbs, chief meteorologist Eric Sorensen, and Nate Doherty with sports.
Make your new year comfortable with a new mattress from Gustafson's